everyone, I'm Mind, and this is set number 70629, Piranha Attack from the LEGO Ninjago Movie theme. This set contains 217 pieces, 4 minifigures, and originally retailed for $19.99 in the US when it first released back in 2017. This video is of course a part of my Ninjago throwback review series, so let me know in the comments which set you want to see a throwback review on next. It could be any set from 2011 to 2018, and while I don't have them all, I do have a lot of them. So let me know in the comments which one you want to see most, and I might just select it for the next Ninjago throwback review. If you want to see which sets I've already done, I'll have a full playlist linked in the description and the pinned comment. But now, with all that being said, let's get into the review. Here's the first build in the set, this little rickshaw cart for one of the citizens of Ninjago City. And this is a small build, but honestly a really cute one. A minifigure can hold on to like the handles at the front to pull the cart along, and then the cart itself has like a seat here where you can sit down a minifigure or put like items that are being transferred, and there's a little part that hangs down too, which gives it a little more dimension. We've got some very nice looking stickers here as well. In fact, there's a total of 3 in this very little build, and they all definitely help to make the parts of this set more interesting. The lanterns hanging down look nice, and I love the big giant wheels that are used. They feel absolutely massive, and I know for a cart like this, they should be somewhat big, but even still I feel like they're a little too big. But for the Ninjago movie, that's the kind of thing I love. It's oversized, it's silly, and it's just a fun thing to play with. This entire back section can be folded down too if you wanted to for some reason. But yeah, this is a nice little build, especially as a side build in a $20 set. This absolutely did not need to be included in this set, but I'm happy it was. But now here's the main build of the set, the Piranha Mech, and this thing is actually really great. I just got this set recently. I was buying something from Bricklink and the seller had it for pretty cheap, so I was like, why not? I'll throw it in. I'm trying to get every Ninjago set eventually, and this is one I didn't have yet. But I remember when this set originally came out, I didn't buy it just because I thought the build was like lame, boring, whatever. I wanted the Lady Iron Dragon minifigure, who we'll take a look at in a moment, but because the build just didn't interest me, I never got around to it. But I'm so happy that I finally did, because this is an incredibly creative, incredibly fun build, and such a cool one to finally have in my collection. So obviously this is a little mech with legs, but the body is shaped like a piranha. The villains of the LEGO Ninjago movie were the shark army, so everything was like ocean themed. But I love how the shape was captured here. This piece that they used, this is usually for like planes, right? But it does a great job to create the front of the piranha, and these big giant eyes on the side look great as well. It's got like 4 cannons here for weapons, which feels very over the top for a build of this size. But again, that's the silliness of the Ninjago movie that I love. 2 of those are imaginary, but 2 are actually flick missiles, so you can flick them or just push them out like this. Obviously, flicking them will go with more force, but pushing them is better for demonstration. And you can move these around a little bit too to aim them, flip them down or flip them back out like this. And of course you could do that on both sides. There's these 2 little tanks at the back with like these black and yellow stickers on them, and you can imagine these as like energy tanks powering the mech, or maybe a little jetpack to help it move around. And this fin back here is really cute too, and it has a sticker on it that says Garmadon in Ninjargon, with this little shark logo on it too. There's a periscope at the top, presumably to allow the minifigure inside the mech to see outside, which is such a funny idea, but of course fits the whole shark army theme so well. And then of course, if you actually want to put a minifigure inside here, the head does open up. It hinges back so you can see these little teeth that are used, and of course there's the 2 teeth out front. It gives a very silly look to the piranha's face when everything's closed up. But with it open, you can see there's a good bit of room in here. There's 4 studs to attach a minifigure, a little printed console piece, as well as some joysticks to actually control the thing. Here's how it looks to have a minifigure actually placed inside, and even with him leaning back and everything, it can very easily close back up around him, and he's completely hidden away. Now he has to use the periscope to see. Lighting's not great, but there's a look at the inside of the piranha head, nothing going on in there. And then finally there's the legs and the feet. Obviously the legs are like very small and thin, but they hold this up really well, and that's because there's no forward and backward movement on this. Like, I can't walk around, but I think that's perfectly fine. The legs needed to be like this to achieve this look while also allowing it to stand up. However, just because there's not forward and back motion, that doesn't mean there's not motion on these feet, because there's still a little bit. You're able to swivel the entirety of the legs around like this, and then the actual feet can move a bit too. In terms of posing, that doesn't do too much for you. Like, there's not too many different poses you can get out of this guy, but I don't know, there's ways to change up the look ever so slightly. Have it look one direction or the other. In my opinion, the feet are everything I could want them to be. So I genuinely really love this build. I'm thoroughly impressed by this, and I'm a little disappointed I didn't get it back in 2017 when it first came out. However, I'll talk about the builds of this set a little bit more at the end of this video. For now, let's take a look at the minifigures in the set, and then I'll give you my overall thoughts on everything. Here are the first 2 minifigures in this set. We have Lady Iron Dragon, and we have the Ninjago movie version of Kai. Lady Iron Dragon is a very weird minifigure. I don't even know where to begin with her. Starting, I guess, with her actual design, I mean, objectively, it's very cool. I love the torso print, it makes her look very elegant and armored. And then she also has this exclusive armor piece that has a quiver out the back, and that's a really incredible part. I'm surprised they never really reused that again. I feel like, especially for like Zane from SOG, that would have worked really well. She has a cloth skirt piece too, which is interesting. LEGO was doing a lot of that at this time, and they've kind of stopped. And I have mixed feelings about that. On the one hand, it looks very cool, it makes the figure more 3-dimensional, well. On the other hand, it's hard to get just right. You can see it's sort of coming up and forward a little bit, and if you play with that, you can make it go a little more flat. But of course, if you're posing this figure moving the legs, I don't know, it looks really nice, but it can also create some issues. So I'd say I'm fairly neutral on it overall. The hairpiece is spectacular. It's dual molded in gunmetal gray and orange, and she's got like this crown, armor, helmet piece on that still lets her hair out the top. That's a really amazing part that we saw reused on Harumi in 2018. And it's a shame we never really saw it again after that. But then we come to the worst part about this figure, and that is the face print. Now, the actual design of the face is perfectly fine. If this was printed correctly, this would be a really good face. The issue is, it's not printed correctly. The printing on this is one of the worst, instances of printing I have ever seen on LEGO, just of all time. 2017 is when LEGO started to have this issue where they just didn't print things thick enough. So this is just meant to be regular LEGO yellow, like Kai's face, like Lady Iron Dragon's hands. But instead, they just didn't layer it thick enough so the black beneath it, really bleeds through. And it makes her look sickly and discolored. This is not what this minifigure should look like in the slightest. No alternate face, which honestly isn't a big deal because the main face is so bad that the alternate face would look just as bad. But yeah, this is a real shame to see because it just absolutely ruins this minifigure who could otherwise be pretty cool. You could swap this out for a normal minifigure head if you wanted to, and that's probably the best option, but I don't know how LEGO thought this was acceptable because it absolutely is not. And by the way, in all official advertisements, this minifigure head looks correct. But this is how it comes out of the box consistently. If you guys don't have this figure, this isn't just a bad batch or something. No, basically every single Lady Iron Dragon minifigure looks like this. It's genuinely awful. But anyway, with that and the armor piece removed, there's a look at the back torso print. Just like the front, again, it looks really nice. And the legs underneath the skirt piece are unfortunately unprinted, but that's not the end of the world. The skirt covers them up almost entirely. Shoe printing or something would have been nice, but she really doesn't need it. Lady Iron Dragon's a weird figure in general because she's not a big part of the Ninjago movie at all, so I'm just surprised she ever came in a set. And if it wasn't for that face print, I think I'd really like this one. But that one part takes this from a 9 out of 10 figure to maybe a 2 out of 10. Genuinely embarrassing. And then Movie Kai is fine. He's one of the most boring movie suits and by far the most common one. He doesn't come with his hood in this set, strangely, and I'm not sure why that is, but at the very least he does have his armor piece, which is the skybound armor in gunmetal gray. I mean, it's nice to get his hairpiece here, and this was when his face print was still new, and I do think this face print's great. He's angry on one side and he's got a very happy expression on the other. Obviously, it's been 7 years and we're still getting this face print to this day, but at the time it was fresh and very exciting. And yeah, torso and leg print is pretty much just standard ninja. I do like the leg print with all the little red diamonds. That adds some nice texture without making things too detailed. And then here's the back torso print, where he's got that symbol that almost all the ninja had that wave, and actually it looks like mine's misprinted a little bit. The centering's really off on that symbol. You can see the black part isn't in the center of the gold part. That's actually a kind of cool variant to have, huh? So yeah, he's a fine minifigure to get, and he is one of 4 in a $20 set. Would have been nice to have his hood piece, and would have been nice to be literally any of the other ninja, because all of them are less common than him, but he's still one that's appreciated. And then here are the other 2 minifigures in the set. We have Ray, who's just a generic civilian, and we have a Shark Army thug. Ray has an interesting name, because of course that's the name of Kai's father in the show. I don't know if this is meant to be the movie version of Kai's father, or if that's just purely coincidence that they named him that in the set. But if that is a reference, I mean, that's cool that that's a reference. However, I'm pretty sure none of the parts on him are exclusive. He's stuck in this terrified screaming face, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I do like how expressive it is. The only issue is he does not have an alternate face, and I feel like if a minifigure is only going to have one expression, it should be a neutral or happy expression. Constantly being stuck screaming has always felt somewhat weird to me, and a lot of the LEGO Ninjago movie figures do that. I will say, this is a kind of cool color for the straw hat piece. I don't know if I've seen that on any other figures. That's what, nougat, right? Just regular nougat? It looks nice. It makes this guy somewhat unique. But yeah, I'm happy he's here, and that's probably one of my favorite details of the Ninjago movie sets in general, is that they came with all these generic civilians. I just wish he had a more neutral face or an alternate face you could swap to. Because while this one's great, it doesn't really work too well as his only one. And then the Shark Army Thug is a fairly generic one. In general, I do like the Shark Army, but this guy does just seem like a generic goon. The sleeveless design is kinda cool, and I like the belt in his pants, but yeah, I really don't have too much more to say about him. No alternate face, of course, because it would show out the back. That's the same reason why the civilian doesn't have one, of course. And he's got a nice anger expression to him. Would have been nice if he came with any accessories at all, because he doesn't. Of course, he is meant to be piloting the build of this set, but it'd be nice if he had something to fight with when he was removed. However, that's not the end of the world. Again, I think it's important to mention there is 4 minifigures in a $20 set. That is a lot, especially because this isn't a battle pack. The build is still pretty significant. So yeah, obviously, these are the 2 less interesting ones, but I'm still appreciative that they're here. And so, overall, what are my thoughts on this set? Well, as I said earlier in the video, I honestly really like this one. This build's incredibly creative and and unique. Like, I don't have a single other set like this one, and you get a lot here for only $20. I feel like if this set came out today, it very easily would have been $25 or even $30. But yeah, 4 minifigures, a really great build, and a fairly significant side build. I don't know why I didn't get this one when it first came out. Of course, the biggest issue with this set is the Lady Iron Dragon face print. That is absolutely ridiculous, and LEGO should not have released the set like that. Very disappointing to see, but even despite that, the set's still fantastic. And the rest of the figure has some good parts, so you can maybe customize her to be a little bit better. So even despite that, I still recommend this one. It actually wasn't too expensive on the aftermarket. I think I got it for about retail. So if you're looking to pick up some older LEGO Ninjago movie sets, this would actually be one I recommend. But of course, those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think of this set in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like on it and subscribe to my channel if you're new. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, go check out the pinned comment to see my other Ninjago throwback reviews, and let me know which set you want to see a throwback review on next. But as for this video, I think that's about all I have to say, so thanks for watching everybody, I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!